As the NASCAR Winston Cup season moves closer to the halfway point, Bobby Labonte has shown the consistency necessary to win the championship. And speaking of championships, Dale Earnhardt knows all about them. He's only 57 points behind and knows another title is a realistic goal. At Pocono, the tables were turned on the Intimidator. Last year at Bristol, you recall, Dale's bump sent Terry Labonte spinning and Dale to the winner's circle. Last Monday, Jeremy Mayfield's move on the last turn of the last lap dropped Earnhardt to fourth. Sonoma is the next challenge for these Winston Cup drivers on the road course at Sears Point. Earnhardt won his first and only road course event here in 1995, and he had a top 10 finish here last year. With a good finish today, the 7-time champion could move closer to number 8. Labonte, on the other hand, has had his problems here, never finishing better than 4th. In 1999, his 27th place finish was his 3rd worst of the entire year. But he's qualified well this year and hopes to move one step closer to Stock Car's ultimate prize, the NASCAR Winston Cup. The NASCAR 2000 season rolls on today with the 16th of 34 events. Bobby Labonte has been atop points since California in late April. Earnhardt is in his highest points position since Daytona in '99. 5 of the top 10 are separated by 35 points or less. The venue for today is the serene countryside north of San Francisco, the Sonoma Valley, where you'll find beautiful redwoods. But it's mostly known for the vineyards, which produce some of the finest wines in the world. Nestled in that valley is Sears Point Raceway, and all eyes today are on the SaveMart Kragen 350. Hi everyone, I'm Bob Jenkins. Welcome to Sears Point, where we have been delighted to come for the last few years for this first of 2 road course races on the NASCAR Winston Cup schedule. In less than a couple of months, we'll be at Watkins Glen for the second. There have been many stories here so far this weekend. Probably the most headline-catching was Rusty Wallace's qualifying run. He broke the track record, but in doing so, he knocked off the sentimental favorite, Kyle Petty. He'll start alongside in row number 1, and there are 41 other drivers who will be chasing them. Let's get the command to get this event underway by going to the public address system.
Gentlemen, start your engine.
His record-tying 6 road course victories, including 2 here at Sears Point, earned him the nickname Road Course Rusty. On Friday, Rusty Wallace proved his prowess, shattering the track record and capturing the pole. But the hot lap on Friday that drew the heaviest applause belonged to this Hot Wheels Pontiac driven by Kyle Petty. For the fans and even other competitors who stood and cheered Kyle's efforts, the significance of that lap extended far beyond mere minutes or miles per hour. For a family that had lost their patriarch Lee and their Prince Adam all within 6 weeks, there had been no toothy smiles, just terrible suffering. But on Friday, Kyle proved that perseverance and petty pride could push aside that pain, at least temporarily. Kyle Petty knows that a win today won't change history, and it certainly won't turn back the clock. But it might be the first step toward the healing of a broken heart. Simply put, Rusty Wallace may have the speed, Jeff Gordon may have the string, but Kyle Petty has the spirit and the glow from a very special sun that is shining on him here today.
Jeff Gordon is a familiar face to fans. His car and its colors a familiar sight. A rainbow of reminders of 50 wins and 3 championships. Here at Sears Point, he hopes for a familiar finish and a return to the brightest spotlight of all, the one in victory lane. For the last 2.5 years, everyone in the Winston Cup Series has been chasing Jeff Gordon on the road courses. Today, Jeff Gordon is finally doing the chasing history. He has a record 5 straight road course wins, and 1 more would tie him for first on the all-time road course win list. He tested an old car in South Carolina in preparation to defend here in California. He calls this car Old Faithful. Both car and driver hope to live up to their familiar reputation today.
When NASCAR visits the road courses, you have to look at the drivers who excel in the places where they turn both left and right. Mark Martin has 4 career road course victories. He was the last driver to win here at Sears Point before Gordon started his current streak. Mark checked in 3rd in Happy Hour. Ricky Rudd is another favorite. 5 career road course victories, including 1 here. But when you talk about road racing specialists, you can't forget about Boris Said, Wally Dallenbach, Robbie Gordon, Scott Pruitt, and John Andretti. They came up on the road courses, and in Happy Hour, all were within the top 8, with Andretti posting the fastest lap. As for the rookie Pruitt, he spent some time here on Wednesday driving around the course in a street car to refamiliarize himself with the circuit. And it has apparently paid off. He was 2nd fastest in Happy Hour. So what used to be a 3 or 4 car race during NASCAR's visits to the road courses has now turned into a 10 or 12 car battle. Of course, the mechanical aspect of racing really comes into play here, and for more on that, here are Ned and Benny.
There isn't a race on their circuit that's more of a mechanical exercise than the race today here at Sears Point. These guys will be downshifting to 1st gear going to turn 11. So that means in a 112-lap race, they'll be shifting over 1,000 times. A lot of chances to make mistakes. And also brakes. They're going to be on the brakes all the way around this really tight racetrack, and some of them may overheat the brakes. Ned, a tough racetrack.
It's tough on the equipment and also tough on the drivers, too. Besides all those gear changes, they got to concentrate fully all the way around this racetrack. If they lose that concentration, they can get in deep trouble in a hurry. And those that are in the points race, boy, you got to be very careful, especially at the end of the race. A lot of cars always finish on the lead lap here. You could be running in the top 5, get off the course, or have some little mishap on the last lap, and you could drop all the way back to 25th or 30th.
And there's not a better example than what happened here at the end of the race last year.
With just a few laps to go, BP, watch the top of your screen. You will see Ricky Rudd get the wheels off the course. He hits the wall on one side of the track, then comes across and collects Ward Burton and Rusty Wallace in the process. All of those drivers were contenders until that happened, but it dropped him to a poor finishing position here at Sears Point. Well, the cars are on the racetrack, and we'll be taking a couple of more warm-up laps before we start this 112-lap event, the SaveMart Kragen 350. We invite you to sit back and enjoy an afternoon of auto racing here on ESPN as the worldwide leader in sports and the National Association of Stock Car Auto Racing present the SaveMart Kragen 350. We'll be right back.
Except what?
I couldn't figure out why we couldn't see the cars that were coming down through the S's there behind you guys. Alrighty.
I have the onboards here.
Okay.
In my little hand.
Your hot little hand.
My hot little hand.
6, 18, 44, and 2.
Mike,
sure.
I said I had them.
And they were Rick Mast, R.K. Smith, and Jeffrey Bodine. Thank you.
27, Mike.
How many? Uno. Okay.
Mike, check Ned. I've changed it a little bit. Does that sound okay? Sounds okay to me. Okay, okay. I just moved the position a little bit. Just want to check it to be sure. Got it over pop the P's maybe is bad. I think we get the green this time. Or?
No, I don't think so. They'll close up the field for a minute.
Well, right there. There's the guy right there. He's not waving the green on, I believe.
ESPN's coverage of this NASCAR Winston Cup race here at Sears Point Raceway is being brought to you by brand name tires, oil changes, and more at your neighborhood Walmart Tire and Lube Express. By Team Monte Carlo, the cars more champions depend on. Chevy will be there. And by Kmart Route 66, jeans, clothes. It's not Main Street, only at Kmart. This racetrack will be just a little less than 2 miles in length. We have 11 corners, 6 right-handers, and 5 left-hand turns, challenging these 43 drivers that have qualified for today's event. And let's check now the Walmart Tire and Lube Express grid. On the pole, his 6th pole of the year 2000 is Rusty Wallace. Kyle Petty has his best qualifying effort since April of 1996. In the second row, Bobby Labonte, 2 top 5s in his 14 road course races, and Tony Stewart, who qualified 2nd and finished 15th in last year's race. Row number 3, Jeff Gordon going for his 6th consecutive road course win, and Sterling Marlin, who equals his best ever start on a road course. In the 4th row, Mark Martin with 4 road course wins, and Bill Elliott, his best was a 3rd in '89. In the 5th row, Scott Pruitt with a lot of road course experience, several wins, including a Trans Am victory here in '87, and Ricky Rudd with 6 top 5s in 11 races at this facility. Back in row number 6, it's Robbie Gordon with also a lot of road course experience, and Jimmy Spencer, a 5th place finish here last year. As we take a look at the rest of the starting lineup, we mentioned this phrase many times throughout the course of the weekend and on NASCAR Today, which just concluded, but I think it bears saying again, there are lots of opportunities for these drivers to make a mistake.
11 corners, that's entry and exit, that's 22 times to make a mistake. Also, they're going to downshift to first gear down in turn 11, the hairpin. So as we said, that's about 1,000 times, 1,000 shifts during the race that if you miss one of those, maybe the engine goes sour. So yeah, lots of chances for mistakes.
You got to keep the cars on the track, keep them on the pavement. That is priority number 1. Yeah, you want the race car set up good so you can get forward traction and all those kind of things, but the driver has to concentrate every second around this racetrack.
Back in the 18th row, we see Johnny Benson and Stacy Compton. Row 19, the provisional starters, Ward Burton, who crashed hard here in qualifying, rolled the car over, as a matter of fact. Matt Kenseth will be starting next to him in the 19th row. Then, last week's winner, Jeremy Mayfield, who took a provisional to get into this one. Chad Little will be alongside in the 20th row. In the 21st row, we have Robert Presley and Kenny Irwin. And starting all alone back in the 22nd row, the 43rd starting position goes to Dave Blaney. Now, 3 drivers failed to qualify for this event. Jeffrey Bodine, Rick Mask, and R.K. Smith, who was driving the 71 car, normally piloted by Dave Marcus.
Onboard cameras today, Matt Kenseth has the Briggs and Stratton onboard camera. He starts in the 30th position. Elliott Sadler has the Citgo on board. He starts 32nd today. Jeff Burton has the Parts Plus onboard camera. Jeff will start 30th. Boris Said, his first race this year in NASCAR West Cup, the Federated Auto Parts onboard camera, starts 23rd. Dale Jarrett has the Ford Quality Care on board. He starts 18th. Mark Martin with Valvoline onboard camera. Mark starts in the 7th position. Bobby Labonte has the Circuit City onboard camera. He starts in 3rd position. And Rusty Wallace, the Miller Lite onboard camera, starts on the pole position.
Well, Ned, there will be several opportunities to pass here, but of course we'll keep our eye on 2 locations coming down through the chute, as they call it now, which is the straightaway prior to turn number 7. And the field now is approaching another area where they will be hard on the brakes trying to outbrake each other. We'll go 112 laps. The purse is almost $3 million, and the pit window is between 35 and 39 laps. Let's go down to Jerry Punch.
Yesterday in happy hour, Mark Martin had a big concern about possible fuel pressure fluctuations. The red fuel pressure light kept coming on the car. It was sputtering coming off the corner. All the Roush cars in turn had the same problem in happy hour. Martin's team today took the fuel cell out this morning, changed the fuel pump, and looked at the carburetor. Have they fixed it? They think they may not have been able to get it fixed. We'll find out in just a moment as the green flag is about to wave.
Pace car turns into the area called Gilligan's Island, where some will be pitting as Rusty Wallace and Kyle Petty come down toward the start-finish line, get the green flag, and we're underway with the SaveMart Kragen 350.
And up at turn 2, this is a trouble spot, always has been. Jeff Gordon trying to get on the inside of Bobby Labonte, take a spot away.
downhill toward the chute and turn number 7.
I heard Michael Walker say the other day, the reason to call that the chute, he said when you come off there and said, shoot, I got too high there.
So far, so good as they now move up through the S's. Rusty Wallace with a 4 or 5 car length advantage on Kyle Petty as the rest of the field comes through the S's in pretty good shape. Well, it looks like John Andretti got the wheels off the pavement just a little bit, but no harm.
But notice they're all single file as they come down through here. When they went into the chute, some of them were still side by side, but now they're all single file.
Oh, Ricky Rudd goes down, tries to block the pass on Robbie Gordon. Gordon goes by on the outside and looks like he's going to make that pass.
Wow, he sure did.
Yeah, that's the place we were talking about a moment ago, Bob. There's another place to pass is out braking someone going into turn 11. Now they're all the way up the hill.
Wallace gets credit for leading the first lap. It's his 8th Sears Point race that he has led, the 10th race that he has led this year. There's Robbie Gordon, who now is being pursued by Ricky Rudd.
Battle for the 5th position, I guess. Sterling came down the hill, blocked that move of Jeff Gordon, put Jeff up on the curb.
And it almost opened the door for Bobby Labonte, but he could not take advantage of the opportunity. And so Jeff Gordon remains in 5th spot. Down through turn number 10, headed down the straightaway to turn 11 once again. That's Stewart, of course, in 3rd, Marlin, Gordon, Bobby Labonte, and Bill Elliott looking to the outside of Mark Martin.
Wow.
Can't make that happen. Here comes the 32 car of Scott Pruitt on the inside of Elliott. Couldn't make that happen.
I thought it was going to cost Bill a spot there, but he was lucky to get back in front of Scott Pruitt. There's not going to be a lot of passing for the first 5 or 6 laps, maybe even 10 laps, till these tires get good and hot and good and slick, and some of these cars will start slipping and sliding, start getting that forward bite off the corner. Then you might be able to make a pass.
And here comes the rest of the field. Robert Presley, Chad Little back there at the tail end, along with Dave Blaney.
Blaney started 43rd, so he's picked up a couple of positions there.
Back up front, they continue to run in the same order. Here comes Rusty, who is driving car number 24 this weekend. The 24th chassis built at Penske Racing South. It's a brand new race car that Rusty is in control of today. We're on board with Kyle Petty, looking back now to Tony Stewart.
This is the Conseco onboard camera. Oh, right up against those tires. All these cars, as a matter of fact, walking through the garage area, a lot of them on the right side, where the number is, have crushed those tires in their practice and qualifying runs.
Kyle Petty sat on the pole for quite a while on Friday afternoon, but in a late run, Rusty Wallace knocked him off. And even Rusty admitted he hated to do it. Would love to see Kyle be on the pole position and have a bit of a lift after several tragedies that have beset that family in the past month or so. You're watching the action from the Pennzoil Copter Cam, which is circling around in crystal clear blue skies over Sears Point Raceway and the Sonoma Valley.
I tell you what, Kyle Petty, oh, you ever see Jeff Gordon back there trying to get on the inside of Sterling, trying to outbrake?
Oh, he may do it this time.
Can he get the grip off the corner? Can he get that forward bite?
Nope.
Didn't work.
So he's tried up in turn 7, and he tried in turn 11, and neither time has been successful for Jeff Gordon. So he stays back there in the 5th spot, pursuing Sterling Marlin. And up ahead of Sterling, Tony Stewart, Kyle Petty, and the leader of the race with 4 of the 112 laps completed, Rusty Wallace. We'll be back in just a moment. again.
Who did? 22 and 42?
22 and 42?
That's what Lynn's done the same thing.
Okay.
Can't do too much of that. You start that vibration.
Kyle got nervous when he snipped it. Oh, okay.
Is that where he slipped the tire going in seven?
The battle between Sterling Marlin and Jeff Gordon continues, but still Gordon has been unable to pass Sterling, and he pointed out in his interview in NASCAR today that that was the thing that he was worried most about. Starting back in 5th position, it's very difficult to pass, and he's not been able to do so far. Meanwhile, up a little bit ahead of them is the battle for 2nd position as Tony Stewart and Kyle Petty are racing together.
Stewart has been all over Kyle for the last couple of laps, but has not been able to get up the side of it.
Going in this corner 2 laps ago, Kyle slid one of the tires and smoked that tire pretty good. You don't want to do that too much. Here we'll see Kyle coming in the corner, and watch that right front lock up. And folks, when it locks up, that means it's stopped. It's sliding across the racetrack. That will develop a vibration. That flat spot will develop a vibration, and if you go long enough, that tire will blow out, go flat. So you got to really be careful of that.
And Stewart will now take a shot at Kyle Petty on the inside in turn 11. Who will win the battle off the corner? Stewart gets a good run as they come to the finish line. Stewart has it. So put Tony Stewart now up into 2nd position. This is also a brand new car for Tony Stewart. Already 2 wins this month, hoping for his 3rd. Chasing his 1st road course victory, however.
You know, when you talk about Tony Stewart, you think of him with an open wheel car, with a midget or sprint car running dirt tracks. You say, well, how in the world did he how did he learn to drive road courses as well? But come to find out, he did a lot of go-kart racing on road courses back in his teen years.
Yep. And when he came here, of course, a year ago was his first road course visit in the NASCAR Winston Cup race, and he started on the outside of the front row and then went to Watkins Glen a couple of months later and started 4th there. There is Dale Earnhardt, who is back in the 24th position, about 15 and a half seconds behind the leader.
Started 29, so he has picked up 5 spots. Jerry Nadeau back in 25th, so he's lost 5 spots since the beginning of this race.
This is a pretty tight group of cars here. There's Schrader trying to go on the inside of the 33. Can he make it? Oops.
Oh, a little bump.
DJ got into it.
And here comes Brett Bodine.
Like I said, that's a pretty tight group there.
And Brett will move alongside Wally Dallenbach now.
Oh, look at Brett trying to get on the inside. Yo! I think Dallenbach will probably pull him off, but Brett Bodine looked like a road racer here this afternoon.
Ralph Supermarket Ford. This is Jeff Burton, yep.
He's behind all of that. He's had a lot of race cars to pass, but he's moving right along. He is up to 26th position now from his 30th position, so he's picked up 4 positions.
Mike Hilbin begins his second week as the crew chief on this number 11 car, driven by Brett Bodine. And the car he has driven dates all the way back to when he bought the team from Junior Johnson in early 1996. Meanwhile, Rusty Wallace has put almost 2 seconds between himself and his closest pursuer, who at the moment is Tom Stewart.
I'm sorry, see Kyle back in 5th spot, so Sterling and Jeff Gordon able to get by. Kyle's back to 5th now.
Poor Gordon has really been working on Sterling Marlin, but Sterling doing a great job of holding his line, running where he wants to, and that apparently is where Gordon wants to run. Uh-oh, got a spin out here.
Kevin LePage is facing the wrong direction in the FamilyClick.com car.
See some damage to the right front of that car. Hope it does not rub the fender. I think Kevin wants a caution flag.
Well, you wonder if the engine is stalled or what the problem is. Evidently, the engine has stalled and he's not able to go.
I thought I saw the car smoke when he started, but I guess not. See him come down the corner. And there's Jeremy Mayfield. Kevin LePage comes off just, wow. What's going on with him, John Kernan?
Benny, he's tried to refire the car, but no luck, and the transmission is hung up between gears. So LePage is a dead duck sitting in the water waiting. He's going to need assistance from one of the wrecker trucks, one of the tow trucks, to come out there and bring him back in, give him a little push maybe.
So it does bring out our first full course caution, and it comes on lap number 11 at the completion of lap number 10. Kevin LePage facing the wrong direction in turn number 11. Back in a moment.
I'm sorry, I don't.
Something happened to LePage's car because the thing just snapped around. I mean, it wasn't a... It's almost
a normal spin.
It didn't look like a normal spin.
Okay.
Is there going to be any pit stops?
Well, according to what some of them said there, you know, that Rusty might would pit if...
Yeah, it's been great. It's been great. They've been great for my family. Of course, my one.
Rear tires are sliding. Yeah. That's why, I mean, it looked like it locked up. It just looked like the thing absolutely locked up.
Hey, Benny,
Yeah.
you know, he said it was stuck between gears. What I'm wondering if maybe he broke the rear end.
That's what it looked like because the thing just snapped around.
And if that would have happened, it would have snapped him around like that, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
And they probably don't have a gear in Gilligan's Island.
For sure, they'll take it back to the road.
So we're going to wait and see if we got pit stops.
I guess they can run across the road.